This is the thing about history you must understand. Myron's making a very important point. Please, and when I was saying earlier about resist the slave mind, this is one of those situations where you have to keep your mind open, right?
Okay.
Resist the slave mind. Resist it. Since the dawn of human time, every single society that we can name was led by men. Agreed?
I agree.
Okay. What is the odds of that being?
Oh, except Egypt.
No, you had Cleopatra.
Yeah, Egypt.
It was very heavily influenced by women.
Cleopatra was a queen, but society was run by men. The household, the man was in charge.
I agree.
So having a queen is different than, because England's, let's not go down that route. You had Boudicca, you had a bunch of things. So let's not go down that route. Right. The point is that what's the odds of that happening by statistical anomaly, right?
Maybe like
50 chance. Every civilization since the dawn of human time, it ends up being men. What's the odds of that? Basically zero. Agreed?
I agree.
Okay. So the reason that you can only name societies that were run by men is because all the societies that were run by women, which did exist, were decimated and destroyed so quickly they don't even have history to fucking write about. They didn't build shit. They didn't write shit. Because the second they said, we're a bunch of pussies and chicks are in charge, the dudes turned up and fucked them up. Now you have to understand that the world now is a lot less competitive than it used to be. It used to be survival of the fittest. And the fittest societies are patriarchal societies. That's a reality. Now, she said the next 100 years, let's see what happens. I actually agree with her. We are moving in the West to a femme-centric society. We are moving here in the West to a society where females have more power than men. She said earlier that feminism means we need the same rights. You already have more rights and more laws protecting you than men do. You're already in charge. But if you look at how society is going, if you actually look at the crime rate, you look at the falling birth rate, you look at the fact that most women are completely depressed and can't find a man they love, you look at the fact that everyone's having abortions and running around doing all this crazy shit, I think society is getting worse. And the reason I think it's getting worse is because there's not enough big, strong men around to keep things in line. I think the happiest societies in the world are patriarchal societies. So when we make this point, when you're saying we need a matriarchal society, it hasn't been tried, it's been tried. You all just fucking lost because it's not competitive. And the second the West becomes fully matriarchal, you're going to lose to Russia, to China. You're just going to be outcompeted and destroyed. That is what's going to happen.
Can I ask a question from your theory?
Was there? I know someone wanted to chime something in before we go into another question. Did anyone have anything? Nope. Okay, go ahead.
No, so like from what you're saying, men have always been able to like dominate women. That's just always what it's been. Like the only time I've ever seen women run stuff is like on Futurama. I can't lie, on an episode.
Oh, by the way, real quick, guys. Yo, we are on YouTube only, guys. We had to kill the Twitch stream, so the lag wouldn't. So we'll stop lagging. We got over 10,000 y'all in here, man. So thank you so much.
Hold on,
we got the likes up.
We got a problem though.
What?
Likes are super low, man.
Yeah, they're low.
We got 10K watching. We got 3K likes, Chris.
Yeah, 3.3K.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, there's 10,000 of you guys on YouTube, man. Like the video, please. Get us up in the algo. This is great discussion. I'm losing hair.
Yo, guess to 8,000, man. Let's go.
And Andrew's about to get drunk as fuck. So, guys, like that video.
$500,000. Let's get it.
And don't forget,
I've been drinking for 5 hours. I've done all right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has done all right.
500K party coming up December 18th in Miami. It's gonna be lit.
So sorry, go ahead. Like the video,
you guys are completely fine. It's just like, you know how you're sitting here saying like, you know, for as long as Dawn, like men have always ran everything. If men have always been running everything, right, and like everybody's just so comfortable and happy, why do women feel the need? Happen?
Speaking to the
I'm
mic.
sorry.
The penis.
Like why do women feel the need to fight for their rights if everybody's so happy and complicit?
You are absolutely right.
Good question.
Like that's my biggest thing. Okay, men have always ran things and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, there are complicit women. Don't get me wrong. There are women who feel like men should lead complacent. Yes, I do apologize.
That's fine.
You know, there are women who are okay with that, but there are also women who, why do women fight so hard? Because obviously there's some imbalances that females feel like is not comfortable. So yeah, I could sit here and be like, yeah, the most societies and things like that have been ran by men, but obviously why do women always revolt against it? Because we don't feel like it's equal and fair. We're not happy. Y'all feel happy, but obviously there's a big ass demographic of females who do not feel the same way.
That's a good point, and I'm gonna answer that because it's a very valid point. I disagree with you when you say that women are not happy. No. Let me answer why.
Okay.
I agree with you. Yes, a lot of women are unhappy, and especially, firstly, it's new. This is Western world, and it's very new.
Since the 50s.
50 years. 50 years in terms of human history is new.
Of
right?
course.
Okay. So,
but were you there
for the longest period of human history? Men were in charge, and were women happy? I don't know. What I'm saying now,
it shows in history.
What I'm saying now is that if you talk about your own personal relationships, which you've already done, you like the idea of a man in a dominant place. So there's still something evolutionary and biological about females liking male dominance to some degree, right? Because in your personal relationships, you do want that. I'm not saying that women should have no rights. I'm not saying you shouldn't fight for equal rights. In fact, even though you already have more rights than men, I'm not saying you should do those things. I'm not saying that. Okay. What I am only doing is stating the facts that matriarchal societies fail. And I'm stating that because it's been proven throughout history. I'm not even talking about the happiness of people. So the point you're making is a valid point. I never discussed whether people were happy. I was discussing competition. I was discussing survival. And in pure survival situations, most of the time, nobody's happy. Because let me tell you something. The men who were going out to die to defend their women probably weren't happy either. And you talk about, this is a big point I want to make, because women confuse this very often. They talk about the fact that men have all the power, men make all the money, men are in charge, and we oppress women. Let me make something very clear to you. Okay. Firstly, you're confusing 1% of men with all men. The majority of men have no money, no power, no sex from their wife, no fucking chance in court. They can't even keep their house. They won't get to see their kids, and they don't. So most men, their life sucks. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing, when a man gets up at 4 in the morning to go carry garbage to earn a good wage, he ain't thinking, I'm going to do this so I can oppress that bitch because she's broke. He's doing it thinking so I can provide for my family, so my woman can stay at home and raise my kids and have nice nails while I'm out here carrying trash. You go to a coal mine, those dudes are not down there thinking about oppressing women. They're down there thinking about providing for women. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there's not bad apples, but in general, us men are prepared to take on more bullshit to protect you than you would possibly believe. And in the modern world, they've spun that. Feminism spun that. Men make all the money. You women need more money because men make the money and men are in charge and men have the good jobs. Men are out here giving up their fucking life for you chicks. Oh, yeah. They're giving up their life for you. And feminism prevents you respecting it. And this is a Western phenomenon. I say this as a man who lives in the East. In the East, women don't think that way. They think, I don't want to make money. I want a man who takes care of me. I want to drive a Bentley. I want 3 or 4 kids. I want the man to make money. And I will respect him for working so hard for me. It's only here in the West they start talking shit, saying, well, I deserve that job too, blah, blah, blah. It's not even, it won't even make you happy. You don't want that job. It's stress. It's unhappiness. It's bullshit. So I agree with what you're saying, but the point about happiness in society, et cetera, yeah. Once again, be very, very careful what you say, and you need to resist the slave mind, because as much as you say you're unhappy, I'm unhappy.
Making so much sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But see, with men though, I feel like the reason why it's been so successful is so successful is because men like run things off ego. Women run things off emotions. I can't lie. That's just what it is. Guys have something to prove. They always be like, I'm better than this. I want to prove this. I want to do this. I want to do that. Girls are like, we gotta be compassionate. We don't want to do war. We don't want to do all this. So obviously men are going to advance faster than women. Don't get me wrong. And that's why
it's more forceful.
Exactly. And that high key does, contribute to their success.
This is a good demonstration of what that is.
How do you feel that? No,
it's not even that I feel, it's a fact. If you look at Scandinavian countries, shout out to Jordan Peterson, he talks about this. The women are that's probably the most equal society in the world. Correct. Scandinavian countries, Norway, etc. And what they found is when you leave women to their own devices, they go into what they want to do even more so. The men pick engineering, architecture, etc. things. Women go into more social jobs, being a nurse, a teacher, etc. So it's not that women are being held against what they want to do. It's not that. It's just that, simply put, if you leave a woman to her own devices, she's almost always going to pick a job that deals with people. If you leave a man to his own devices, he's going to pick a job that deals more with things. And the other thing, too, is that men are far more willing to work overtime, work dangerous jobs that women never want to work. Women want equality until it's about, doing offshore fishing or offshore drilling or any job that's dangerous or physically labor intensive.
Or staying on the Titanic.
Yeah,
no,
so you're not equal now. You're not equal now. Oh, okay.
So women do those jobs because they're emotional beings, right? Like nurses,
because you were saying like men push. You were saying like men push harder. It's not that men push harder or whatever it is. It's not that. It's simply put that if allowed. Right? Women are going to just, I'm just going to say it. Women pick easier jobs physically, and that's why they get paid less. They work less hours. They're more likely to take vacation time. And this is all statistical fact.
Yeah,
there is no wage gap because of gender. There's a wage gap because of choice. Yep. Yeah. A woman doesn't get paid less by the fact just because she has a vagina. No, she gets paid because of the choices she makes. And let's take it a step further. Over 60% of college enrollees are women.
Yeah,
women have more college degrees than men now. why do men still make more money? Because men go into fields that pay more, that tend to be science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. Women don't want to do that shit. Pilots, engineers, etc., like we were discussing before, dominated by men.
Because men are more willing to do competitive jobs than females,
yes.
which I technically
because it's a choice.
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
choice.
Also, it's a biological thing. Men are valued on what they create. Women are not. So women don't have the same burden of performance and incentive to be a high earner.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't. Men are innately more competitive, etc. So women make less money because of choice. And I think a lot of people like to say women make less money because we're oppressed or whatever. No, you're not oppressed. And as a matter of fact, I would argue that as a woman, if you try to be an engineer or you know, become a pilot, etc.,
you get an easy.
There you go.
Because now they got quotas. They got quotas.